But first, we will hear from someone who is going to help develop and carry out those goals. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce America's well-respected foreign policy thinker. He was the top White House advisor to President Jimmy Carter. Now he's working to help another underdog get to the White House and make some changes in Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, Zbigniew Brzezinski.
Thank you so much for your introduction, but also for more than that, for your service to this country, of which every one of us is intensely proud. Also thank you for being a soldier citizen, or a citizen soldier, which means that you think for yourself, that you are capable of making judgments, and that while serving bravely in a war, you still have the capacity to judge the merits of that war, and the criticism is welcome. You know, there's something very American about that. You serve your country with dedication, but you don't lose the ability to make critical judgments. That's what America is about. Now, I'm here today because I strongly believe that the next election is not just to choose a new president. It is much more than that. The choice that you will be making will define America's role in a historically new era. That's a fundamentally important choice. We have elections every 4 years, but only once in a while is a new president facing the opportunity to shape a new sense of direction for America in a dramatically changing world. What am I talking about? Well, for example, President Wilson, after World War I, committed America to the shaping of a new international system. And that effort, actually, with ups and downs, took several decades. President Truman, in the late 40s, committed America to the worldwide defense of democracy. And that effort lasted several decades. In the early 1990s, 15 years ago, the United States emerged as the only global superpower. And thus the United States has had since then the opportunity to be the spearhead of global progress in a world which politically is no longer passive, no longer submissive. We now live in a world which to an unprecedented degree is now politically awakened throughout all of mankind. All of humanity is politically conscious, politically stirring, often politically restless and resentful. And it is increasingly motivated by a new and very important sense of purpose, the desire for recognition of personal dignity, and of respect for diversity. That's a new yearning. That is what the new world is about. And that's where America has a unique opportunity to play a decisively creative role. Tragically, that opportunity has been squandered by the self-destructive war in Iraq. Squandered by the self-destructive war in Iraq. Instead of mobilizing global solidarity, the United States has become engaged in what is essentially a colonial war in the post-colonial era. Just think of what that means. Much of human history has involved colonialism, dominating passive populations from outside distant countries through superior force. But we are waging a colonial war in the post-colonial era, when populations are politically awakened, resentful, unwilling to submit to foreign domination. And it has been a war which has been justified. I hate to say this as a citizen, but has been justified by mendacity. It has discredited America worldwide. Just think of something very symbolic. The Statue of Liberty, which for so many years has been the symbol of freedom of America to the world. What is the most symbolic, evocative example that today comes to mind to so many people in the world when they think of America? It is Guantanamo. And that is one of the byproducts of that war. We are, as I have to say, isolated, disliked. I will not speak of the human or economic costs of the war. I will not talk about how most Iraqis want us to leave. And yet, there appears to be no end in sight to this war. Even though a colonial war in the post-colonial era is not winnable without massive effort, total national mobilization, which our people have the good sense not to support. The real danger is that this war will drag on, and it might even spread. In which case, we could be involved before too long in a war that spans Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, and Pakistan. I just think what that will do to us. And hence it follows that this war, a fundamental historical misjudgment, must be addressed with realism and with courage. The war in Iraq is nothing less than the central test of good political judgment, of real political leadership. The next president must be someone with a demonstrated grasp of the historical moment, a person who understands what our time is all about. That is the essence of true leadership. That is the key to genuine historical experience. The next president must be a person who understands, even personalizes, the global quest for dignity and diversity. Personalizes. A person who has shown that even without extensive intelligence briefings, he knew from the very beginning that a solitary war, resented by our friends while mobilizing our enemies, is a fool's enterprise. One political leader did just that, ahead of others. He was not, like many others, a Johnny-come-lately. That leader has had the courage and the resolve to face the painful realities of the war in Iraq and to address them with strategic wisdom. Unlike President Bush, who in dodging his responsibility prolongs the agony while increasing its human costs. That leader has shown also, by his life and by his close communion with mankind's quest for personal dignity, that he can make America again relevant to the cravings of humanity. And so, You good people of Iowa, you have a unique historical opportunity to take the lead in the election of our next president, and thus to change the world. I give you Barack Obama.